Greetings from the Nerd Castle Kitchen in the Black Hills of South Dakota, Stan Gibilisco here. I just was thinking, both of my brain cells are engaged. What do you know? Both the right-hand brain cell and the left-hand brain cell are engaged simultaneously. But I was thinking, on that trip up to Wyoming that I took at the end of February and the beginning of March, the first place I went was up on Casper Mountain. Now, if you're familiar at all with Casper Mountain, you know that the road up there is, as my wood delivering man told me, an SOB in the winter. But more than that, there's this cool cabin up there, and I made some videos. If you'll go to my Winter Wandering playlist and look at the Winter Delight, was what we decided to call it, the realtor and I. Really cool cabin up there, right on Casper Mountain Road, right across from a cafe. I believe it's called Stefan's. Pretty neat looking place, a really nice, secluded, cozy place, but a lot of challenges. Not much internet access. Have to plow my way in and out of there. Nobody else is going to do it for me unless I hire it for them. Have to haul my own trash. The place is on state land. A lot of minuses. I made a joke once that all those minuses, all those negative things about it added up to precisely the reason why I should pack my stuff up and move there. Well, I'd have to sell my house here in South Dakota to do that. I'm not exactly wallowing in dough. But I began to think about all of this, and I began to think that a lot of people, not just me, but a lot of people tend to envision a scenario that they imagine that they would want. Maybe it's happened to you. You imagine that you want something and it begins to build in your imagination. I'd like to have a dog up there. There's about 3 acres up there. The neighbor has a friendly dog. Maybe I could just sort of adopt that dog. The neighbor, who's a good distance away, it's 3 acres. Wooded land. You start thinking of all of this stuff and how wonderful it would be. That's a really cool place inside, man. It is just so neat. You start thinking about all this stuff, and it builds in your mind, and you begin to think that you really want this particular scenario. Maybe you think you really want a particular person, as if you could own a person, as if a person was an object. But we all do this, I think. And it's like you're looking through rose-colored spectacles in your imagination at a particular scenario. And you begin to disappreciate what you already have. You begin to stop counting your blessings. And you begin to think you want something else. And it builds and builds and builds. Now, sometimes you act on those impulses, and sometimes it turns out well, and sometimes it doesn't. I think in this case, it would be I would regret it. And I also began to realize, I live in an awfully nice place. It's modest. It's in a very modest town. It's a gritty town in a gritty part of the country. It's still the dead of winter outside here. March, 22nd, something like that? It's spring by the calendar, but you'd never know it by going outside this morning. It was 10 above zero, been snowing, trees are all white with frozen haze. Really, really beautiful view out my window, though, and I can get good internet access up here, too. I've been working on a video course, finishing up a book. It's great to have good video access and great to have the things I've got. Some of the things have broken. When I took that trip and came back, one of my computers was broken. But, the more stuff you have, the more stuff is going to break. And it's so easy, and I think that we need to sometimes just wait a sec. take those rose-colored spectacles off. What really is the case and what you imagine the case is may not be the same thing. Things are not necessarily what we want them to be. They're not necessarily what we believe them to be. They're not necessarily what they should be. They are what they are. It's always good to keep your feet on the ground. Your head can be in the clouds, that's fine. But keep your feet on the ground. That's my advice, and my advice to myself, if no one else. Just a little musing. Count your blessings, appreciate what you have. Don't wait until it's gone. Stan Gibilisco, signing off from the White Hills of Dakota Territory, also known as Pahasapa, where the Lakota people come to pray for the state of the world. Don't we know it needs all the prayers they're willing to give us? Until next time, so long.